Hey guys, got some updates for you for the build. Uh, First up is the gear. Some of you caught a previous update that we'd picked up Powerhouse node in the Paragon, and we needed to move willpower over to the boots so that we could grab the extra bonus from that node. Now you can either grab it from all stats on the weapon and replace the shadow damage over time affected enemies, or just slot in willpower as your fourth stat on the gloves. That's what I'm personally doing. The reason we're moving the willpower off the boots is after testing and running some stuff, we've definitely found that the Greaves of the Empty Tomb is absolutely incredible, unique for this build. Although the unique aspect doesn't have any impact on the build, the other four stats are incredible. Oh, we do get the essence cost, which again, if you're managing your essence properly, it's not a big deal, but it does help a little bit. But more importantly, it's getting that extra lucky hit chance with everything shadow damage. It really helps Sex False proc and Abhorrent Decrepify go off a lot. But a substantial eye test on this, there's a lot more X False procs by slotting in these boots. It's also important that because we're no longer using rare boots and losing the Ghost Walker, but we don't have the resist on our boots anymore, so it's important that you make sure that the secondary stats on your ring or your secondary resist match where you're actually getting. Um, the stats here, my fire resistance with the current setup was a little lacking with the old ring that I had, so we had to remove the ring that had lightning resist and find one with fire resist just to get it capped. But we can still cap with the three um, resist jewels and having it the secondary resist meet which one is the odd man out. For Vampiric Powers, there was one small change. After running the build through a whole bunch of T100s, really Undying was not helping. We weren't taking much damage at all. Most of the damage taken was just from playing stupid, standing in death effects, standing in explosions after the fact. There really wasn't a lot of initial damage, so uh, that wasn't helping a lot. So slotted in Anticipation just to get a little bit extra cooldown recovery on the ultimate. Rest of those stayed the same. The Paragon board is the big change. This is the one that completely changed from the last video that I put out. Went from 5 board to 6, really looked at min-maxing the board, getting as much as we can out of it from the additional armor so we can stay at armor cap, getting additional damages anywhere we could while maintaining armor cap and resist cap. So first up, again, it's an entire board change, so if you're going off the last video, I do apologize, but it is a completely new board. So I'm going to go through it individually. So the first board, we're slotting in Sacrificial here. This does pick up some extra damage as well as some armor here. Um, Into the next board, we're taking Wither. We still don't take the Wither node itself. We're still focusing on X-Fall procs from the damage effects. And in this board, we're putting in Abyssal. This is a cool glyph for this build. It brings up our non-physical damage, which it's all scaling off of shadow damage, which we are getting a little bonus for. And we are also picking up Lingering Shadows, Knowing Darkness off the board slot, or off the glyph slot. Third board is Flesh Eater. We are taking the legendary node here. This build eats corpses, so we constantly have a good uptime on Flesh Eater. On the way over to your glyph board, picking up Stifle. In the board itself, we're picking up Gravekeeper. Big here for getting the additional damage to elites and resist all here. Then moving up into Scent of Death. Scent of Death, we're picking up Ruin, Corrective. In the glyph slot, we have Imbiber. Quick note here, this will very likely be the odd man out for the glyphs. When we get the new Zir glyph, it will slot in likely into this board, just replacing Imbiber, but we still pick up the Death Marked and Preservation here. The next board, we're in Bloodbath. This is where we picked up Powerhouse for the additional damage while healthy. Essence slotted in here for the additional crit damage. Also picking up Hardened. And the final board is going to be Bone Graft, just to slot in a little bit extra vulnerable damage with Exploit. With all these changes, the gear changes and everything is all updated on the planner. That'll be linked below. And with the current board where we're standing right now and all the gear, build is hitting 140, 144 mil on test dummies. And as we've discussed before, this build really can't ramp in the current content. The mobs just don't have enough HP. But the build functions as is without photoshopping the numbers. So if you've got any questions, y'all know where to hit me up, and good luck.